Thank you very much, Puckett. I'm ZP, rejoined here once more by my brother from the UK and Bren. And Bren, going into this, we get to see a surging 1-2-3 team against a disarmed Bazooka Puppiez team.
Absolutely, yeah. Coming into this game now, 1-2-3 really going to be the leaders in this game. You'd imagine at least the analyst desk pretty much throughout, just pretty much confirming that Bazooka Puppiez weren't looking too hot in the previous week. 1-2-3 actually stepping up a significant amount more than what we were really anticipating. But this is going to be a matchup that, I'm not going to lie, it is most likely going to be almost a one-sided affair, but there is potential there for Bazooka Puppiez to take a map or two.
All right, well, Bazooka Puppiez, it was interesting where we did expect a little bit more there, and it appears that, no, my cough button is...
So we're going to be getting into the first map, which is going to be Oasis, as far as it goes. Now, literally, Oasis as a map, it's one of the predetermined ones as it stands. It's also a map that's very popular when it comes to running the Farah Mercy and whatnot as well. So coming into this, I believe we're probably going to be expecting a bit of a... Hafiko can play it on the side of 1-2-3. He has been known to play Farah occasionally, whipping it out, but Bazooka Puppiez as well. Do we really anticipate them trying to run that as well?
We'll see. I'm not sure anyone can hear me right now because...
Well, ZP's just going to get hooked up as it stands, but right now heading into Oasis as the first map. Not too sure what stage we're going to be heading on to, but again, a map that kind of favors the playstyle of 1-2-3 as a team. Very sort of predetermined in their angles of attack and whatnot, and also quite a well-organized team, I should say, in the way that they are very effective at peeling for their supports. Now, the teams are going to start to get the compositions going and ready. So heading into this one. Now, Doomfist is most likely also going to be the name of the game here, I'd imagine. But still, we are going to be waiting for the compositions to come up. And here we have it still. As the countdown begins, we'll be heading into this one. Composition-wise, keeping it pretty similar. As you can see, it's going to be the 2-2-2 hit scan for 1-2-3, what they're more accustomed with. Bazooka Puppiez not actually going to be running the Doomfist at all. And ZP, you join me.
I hope I am back right now. Using their tanks to delay. And this is the Oasis here, Bren, where oftentimes people wait a while before fully engaging on each other, and they just feel each other out.
Yeah, absolutely, but that first pick onto Mendez is going to be crucial for them here as they immediately pick up that first kill. And Control Center can be a difficult map to try and get this first initial control point, this capture point on, as it is so large, it's so easy to actually contest. In the meantime, the rotations around abound. 2 picks coming in for Bazooka Puppiez, but the point will be captured up here for 1-2-3, and they're looking to take it even further. Still, the frags falling between them, kills flowing on either side as it stands. The kill feeds, no real victors in the one side, but the point will tick up in the favor of them. Pulse Bomb gets sent out by Snylo, but won't connect any kills that he's looking for. Still contesting, has to tip himself back for the time being. For opportunities. Now the tactical visor, sound barrier, also going to be used here, trying to basically prolong this fire from both these teams.
I've got you in my sights. Get these jokers off my point. Patched up.
Here we have it still. Regaining control of the point here, Bazooka Puppiez. They are firmly in control as it stands, but losing that player there, Ube, might be detrimental to them as it stands, because now one less player to really control this. Vinci going to be trying to get in a bit of pepper fire. Self-destruct will be sent out. Does collect the kill there onto Denia in the meantime. Now looking further for more and more kills, still trading as it stands equally. Now the Transcend is being used by 1-2-3, trying to really prolong this fight out. Vinci still alive. He's going to get ran on, and the Primal Rage will get committed as well by Meza to try and really just stall this game out. Now the Dragon Blade, Ube gets one. Can he find a second kill? Not quite in the backlines, he's searching for it, but it looks like it is 1-2-3 actually crumbling under the pressure. Bazooka Puppiez with the advantage.
All right, now we'll see if I am in here. I hope I am. Still with the Pulse Bomb going to connect here for 1-2-3. 1-2-3 on the verge of bringing this back. Bazooka Puppiez getting thrown off. Very back and forth here so far, Bren.
Absolutely, yeah. Ultimates pretty much online for both these teams. Very equal when it comes to the support ults, because no team are really having it as it stands, but the fight is firmly in the favor of Bazooka Puppiez. They're just finding all of these kills one at a time, still just trying to run these players onto the point to try and contest this up. As you can see, Bazooka Puppiez doing a good job of it so far. Happy cooling down the mech. That's going to be buying them even more time as well, as he's back alive, and now the fight continues.
The fight does continue, but still control Puppies, but not for long. Mete, not able to stand the point. Looks like he was still there, but perhaps not. 1, 2, 3. Now going to be able to retake control here in this matchup. And now you take a look at the ult economy. They're well suited to hold on here for quite a while. Bazooka Puppiez, they have a tough hill to climb.
They do indeed. As we're saying that, look, 2 support ults on the side of Bazooka Puppiez. Most likely going to be wanting to initiate with one of them at least to counteract the offensive ults that they've got on the side of 1, 2, 3. But we'll see if they manage to do it. Kenzie's looking for the flank plays here. Still has the pulse bomb, sends it out, but it's going to be Snilo who picks up the kill into a Psycho Waffle to kick things off.
All right, and Snilla right now, early on here with that pickoff, clean the way here for 1, 2, 3. Meanwhile, Bazooka Puppiez, for now, trying to get back into the point, but they're not taking this decisively enough. We see Kenzie here in the back line, certainly applying pressures on Winston, but overall, you still see 1, 2, 3 holding control right now.
Yeah, still holding control indeed. No support ults being used by Bazooka Puppiez there, just trying to force out the offensive ultimates, but really it's almost backfired against them here, ZP. As we see 1, 2, 3, they've built up a big, essentially, pit of ultimates to use here. They've got a tactical visor, 2 support ults to use as well. Now it's time for Bazooka Puppiez to try and initiate in here. They've got a lot to work with. Ube is the man to watch with his Dragon Blade. He needs to get something done.
And this could come down to this final fight right now. The Bazooka Puppiez, though, they are loaded and ready to go. Those bazookas are ready to fire. And Ube, really the man of point right now, has the Dragon Blade at the ready, holding back, and Bazooka Puppiez, they're just biding their time. It isn't overtime in the Nia cap, but they want to get as good of engagement here as possible. But you have to think, Bren, that both teams are going to clash in just a moment.
Absolutely, this is classic control center. The self-destructs are sent out like ships passing in the night. No kills collected, but the Soundbarriers will be committed. Ube now finally times the Dragon Blade almost perfection. With that, trying to kick up the kill there onto Bok. Will find the one, but are they going to slip it over into the overtime here?
We'll have to see. 1, 2, 3 holding on really well. There was an ultimate showdown, and 1, 2, 3 rising above the ashes right now. Now Bazooka Puppiez looking for a miracle. Kenzie will have to be part of that miracle. His team is dying all around him, and this is where Tracer can stall out, get some kills, and open the door for your team to come back in. But Tonic, having none of it. 1, 2, 3. Can take round number 1.
Mez almost quite did it there with the Primal Rage, but not quite working in his favor there. And Control Center, it can be a tricky one. Once you gain control of it, it's so difficult to flip it back over just because of the sheer size of the actual control point itself. But heading into these next stages, this might be more suitable for Bazooka Puppiez. They're running this sort of triple DPS, and now we see Ube. He's going to be whipping out the Doomfist here. But what's this on 1, 2, 3 side? They also want to be mashing them head on. Happy Cool's whipping it out, and Fincy on the McCree.
And the reason why you're seeing the Doomfist swaps here is that we are heading into University, and University is more contained. This is where Doomfist doesn't have to worry about the verticality as much as he would on other maps, and that's why both of these teams now are swapping to it here for this round. So no matter what team you're rooting for, you have a Doomfist on your side.
Absolutely, that is imperative in this one game mode. Happy Cool wants to leap into the fray, Seismic Slam to get the head start. The teams are going to be meeting head on, searching for those opportunities. Remember, Doomfist with his right click can get that one-shot potential, and it's incredibly potent at that. Really looking to take a fight into close quarters here. Neither side really wants to try and bait each other in, but they are waiting for that initial pick.
But 1, 2, 3, they have much better positioning right now. Bazooka Puppiez are on the outside looking in. They haven't really been able to have a good engage here soon, and now the pressure will be on the dive in. Mete's going to lead the way, but it gives Happy a good opportunity for that early punch.
Seismic Slam into them. Happy Cool falling so weak. He will fall, but not before a 1-for-1 trade. Not too bad on the side of 1, 2, 3, but remember, point still not capped up here. Bazooka Puppiez are contesting, but not if Snilo has got anything to do with it. Picks up 3 kills for his team, turning it around, and this should be the cap for them. Mete getting demeched as well, not the most ideal scenario, and there we have it, first capture point here for University.
Well, we saw it last week where Snillo was incredibly vital to 1, 2, 3 doing well, and it is much the same this week where he is effectively the replacement for mistakes, and he has been in more ways than one. Now for 1, 2, 3, they have firm control of the point, and you want to talk about positioning there. The reason why Snillo had so much room in the back there, Bren, is that 1, 2, 3 was able to get the point earlier, and Bazooka Puppiez really didn't have a lot of room to work with.
On a game plan here for Bazooka Puppiez, they need to try and force out Fox Transcendence pretty early. Post bomb from Snillo, not getting the pick that he was looking for, but that will force out the ults by 1, 2, 3 to try and defend this whip still. And even trade Transcendence will eventually get used here to prolong the fight out. Damage is being done in close quarters, but the healing is definitely there. And now we see the Transcendence and the Sound Barrier committed here, ZP, at the same time for Bazooka Puppiez.
Bazooka Puppiez, they are all in on this push. If they don't get it now, it would be catastrophic. Happy, under pressure, going to fall in the back line. And Bazooka Puppiez for now, getting what they need. Finzy might be striking back a little bit, but overall, Bazooka Puppies are able to flood onto the point. They're going to be pushing Finzi off, and they take control.
Yeah, most important that they got that because they committed so many ults there. Bazooka Puppies almost using almost too many there. Primal Rage, Transcendence, and the Sound Barrier. Very good stalling, very good sustained ultimate being committed to try and flip that over. And here's the danger zone here, ZP, because 1, 2, 3 now, they've got a support ult to initiate with, and they've definitely got the damage as well because they're playing these high impact heroes that don't need ultimates to do work.
They've also swapped to the McCree here, and the reason why the McCree can be better is that it gives you a little bit more control against the Doomfist. Ube's going to be finding himself under more pressure, but now 1, 2, 3 they engage. Sound barrier's out, and this is big for them if they can get an early pickoff, but you see Bazooka Puppies, they're able to disengage, and they throw the self-destruct, which really ruins this engagement by 1, 2, 3, at least in the beginning.
Forcing the position, but Ube will fall in the end. Meza might be next. Flashbang committed by Finzi, but doesn't connect onto the targets he was looking for. Still, the kill's definitely falling in the favor of 1, 2, 3, and with that fan the hammer, Psycho Waffle will fall. Finzi, nobody is taking care of him. He's just destroying them on the point, and this should be the contestation, and it should be the cap.
No one expecting the stealth McCree there. And what do we see from Finzi? Primary target for him was Ube. Goes for Ube, converts on that kill. So this has been a good swap here so far for 1, 2, 3. And now it's 60% here, Bren. They only have to win about 2 more fights to bring this round and thus the map in their favor. And Bazooka Puppies, they're not in the greatest position here. They're going to have to really open up with the Transcendence and hope for the best.
They need to be careful as well of Finzi's positioning. If they got nobody to take care of him, it's going to be trouble with that Deadeye available to them. Still, Ube looking for the initiation. Happy Call gets caught out of position there. Will fall. That's an entry pick for them. But there we have it. Traded out equally. The Deadeye and the Pulse Bomb going to be committed to try and turn this fight around for them.
Finzi had great positioning there. Was able to use the Deadeye over the top to finish the kill. Didn't matter that Transcendence was in effect. And of course, Snillo grabbing Ube certainly made that a little bit easier. And the interesting thing is that Bazooka Puppies was forced there, Bren. They had to use the Transcendence under pressure. Otherwise, Rubicon would have fallen.
5% left. They need to contest this. Ube tries his hardest, but the overtime does tick down. Meza now a last-ditch effort here, ZP, to try and move in, but it is too little, too late, as the overtime will burn down. Meza will get onto the point, potentially. No, he just gives up. He gets booped back, and that will be the first round, or the second round, I should say, here, going to 1, 2, 3.
Second round and first map. So 1, 2, 3, more of the same here, where we saw heroics from Snillo last week. And what do we see here but Snillo play the game, and also just very much using the space his team gave him, where 1, 2, 3 was consistently out-positioning Bazooka Puppies, and that just let Snillo be a complete pest into the backline. Drop the beat.
Interesting, yeah. Snilo, definitely a big turning point for that team fight there in that entire engagement. A bit of a one-sided affair as we sort of expected coming into that. 2 early rounds pretty much taken by 1, 2, 3. Bazooka Puppies needed to step it up to a degree, but we'll see now in the second map what they can do.
Well, for Bazooka Puppies, it was interesting watching them here, where we did see Ube go onto the Doomfist on the second round.
Yeah.
But do you think they adapted well to the McCree? Because it felt like the McCree caught them a bit off guard.
Absolutely, yeah. The McCree was a huge turning point. Finzi was running it initially for that second round at the start. He was rolling out with it, but switching to the Soldier, sort of. I think Bazooka Puppies gained a bit of confidence in that because they weren't really. They were used to playing against, I guess, Finzi on Soldier. Now, don't get me wrong. Soldier 76 is Finzi's one of his best roles, if not his best role, and he can be an absolute monster on that one hero. But McCree is so effective at dealing with Doomfist in a lot of ways, just because of the flashbang. You got the Deadeye as well, which was new and improved. Plenty of upgrades available to him. He is a formidable machine.
Well, the thing is, the burst damage really helps you in taking on the Doomfist, who otherwise has really good mobility. But if you're able to use the McCree to either CC him with your flashbang or just simply land a few headshots, you can deal with him quickly. And that's what we saw from Finzi, where he came in, his target was Ube, and that helped 1, 2, 3 get control back of the fight.
Yeah, well, the next map will be King's Row of all of them, and it feels like it's been a while since I've actually casted a King's Row game. This is going to be an exciting one for me, my home grounds, of course. King's Row, I'm actually from London, or King's Row. Is it a real place? Probably.
Maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future, yeah, when there's an Omnic crisis and all that jazz.
Hey, man, the Mondiata statue is coming. Don't worry.
But King's Row will be the map we're heading into. And King's Row is an interesting one because traditionally it's been one of those maps where you see a lot of Reinhardt play, a lot of Zarya play, traditional tank plays. And even earlier in the previous week when we saw King's Row, it was even, I believe, Renegades. Mangachu was pulling out the Hanzo of all classes, which is a classic King's Row pick in this first stage. Very effective with the Sonic arrows and the scatter arrows.
Well, Mangachu really is bringing the past back into the style with the Hanzo pick, because there was a period of time where you'd see Hanzo very frequently early in King's Row. In fact, back before there was no hero limit in the ancient depths of Overwatch beta competition, you would see teams open with 6 Hanzos just to unleash 6 scatter arrows in the hope of an early pick. So he does have a bit of a rich history there.
He does, yeah. Hanzo very effective. You know, you can use the Sonic Arrow to peer through the corners. There's lots of hallways in this first checkpoint of it, but most importantly as well, he synergizes very nicely with Zarya's, which you often see the traditional tanks being run on King's Row. King's Row as a map traditionally is very tanky. It's very sort of tank orientated because it's quite choky, fits Reinhardt's shield very nicely.
So looking at the defense right now from Bazooka Puppiez, it is interesting that we are seeing more of a return of the Cowboy, because what do we see here from Kenzie? Normally on the Tracer, now running in a more tank-heavy setup, a Reinhardt-Zarya composition with the McCree. And this is to make any Doomfist options from 1-2-3 run into some trouble here. And 1-2-3, I don't know if we can trust too much in their composition here just yet, though. It would be glorious.
Absolutely. So you can see here, if you're not aware what Bazooka Puppiez are doing, they're actually just taunting around the corner, holding up a shield so they can see in third person around the corner. But 1-2-3 are not sure what composition they are running. They're hiding themselves from them. So give them a bit of a surprise factor, but given what we've seen so far in the previous weeks, I think they're going to be knowing that there's the Reinhardts in play. And here we have it. The teams will roll out and try and meet each other head on.
Ryan games are back here, Bren. The era of only running Winston D.Va, perhaps coming to an end. 1-2-3 now. Not wasting a lot of time. Going up rather quickly here at the Tonic, but taking poke in turn. And this is back and forth. Mede going to take down Haptical early on.
My goodness, yeah. Vinci is actually incredibly charged, it's worth noting out. He does pick up the kill onto Psycho Waffle there. The Bio Grenade will be connected onto him, so it forces them back. But there's 2 initial kills by Bazooka Puppiez, means that they have to play it back a little bit.
And one thing that wasn't really obvious there is that it was also Kenzie landing good shots onto Doomfist. 1-2-3, now moving in again. Absolutely no kill, and this time they connect. Mez is going to fall early on as Haptical, not getting contained by the McCree this time. Picks up a triple kill. This man is unchained.
Yeah, Vinci is absolutely unbelievable on the Zarya roll. His tracking is supreme. He gets constantly high charge, and this will be 1-2-3, picking up the initial point here in a very rapid fashion. But how long can they keep this momentum going for?
We'll have to see. I think a key part there is that they were able to zone out Kenzie a bit there early on, and while he was a bit out of the fight, we saw Haptical with plenty of room to work with. So this is sort of the Doomfist versus McCree had a Psycho Waffle and punched right away.
There's a lot of synergy between the Zarya and the Doomfist as well in a lot of ways. You know, Doomfist, he charges in, you can shield him up, but give him that just a little bit of extra life he needs to just get right back out of there again. Synergizes very, very nicely. And not to mention as well, the Meteor Strike grab, which Vinci is holding on to now, ZP.
And Vinci right now, he was looking to be a little bit sneaky. He was hoping that Bazooka Puppiez was going on, but he lobs it in. It's a beautiful grab. Is it coming in from on high? The follow through is there. Vinci, he's his own follow through, Bren.
That is stylish indeed. Vinci styling on him, gets the right click, jumps straight up into the air. Throws down a Graviton Surge, connects it onto 4, I believe, and that is momentum. That is speed CP, because look at his ultimates. 1, 2, 3, they've still got the Earth Shatter, they've still got the Meteor Strike, and both there's the portals to work with.
And that, again, and this is just a replay. A quick poop over the top, lays in the grab, and the fall through is there as Finzi just lays it on in. Now we set up for the next fight here, Bren. 1, 2, 3, plenty of tools, but the Bazooka Puppiez are not unarmed either.
Absolutely, Haptical leading itself in. Deadeye will be committed as well, but the Earthshatter's still holding on. Double kill for Kenzie with the Deadeye, and that is actually disastrous now for 1, 2, 3. They have to back out of here. Don't want to be using any ults in the meantime. Have to just get out of there. They still have 4 minutes on the clock though, but if Bazooka Puppiez can get any follow-up kills here, it's going to be beautiful for them, but they might try and turn it around.
1, 2, 3 right now, not giving up too much ground. Their reinforcements are coming back in, but Bazooka Puppiez, now they have options here. Mete holding on to the grab, drops the Graviton right in the middle of it, and we'll see if the fall through is there. Only 2 in that grab though.
Yeah, not connecting any kills at all actually. The sound barrier coming out from 1, 2, 3 means they didn't actually collect many at all. Hammer down will be committed as well, but the kill is thoroughly falling in the favor of 1, 2, 3 here. Haptical just happily slamming it home with the rocket punch. We'll find the last kill there onto Rubicon, and the cart will be pushed in to the second checkpoint. And ZP, we just got to point out here, look at this time that 1, 2, 3 are on. 4 minutes, 40 seconds, or 50 seconds, I should say, and they're already pushing into this last checkpoint.
It's ridiculous momentum, and that's why that last fight was so important. Bazooka Puppiez had a whole lot available to them in ultimate power. They weren't able to convert. The Graviton didn't get as many as they needed, and as a result, they pay the price. 1, 2, 3 gets in the third early. Haptical now, off to the side, finding the Reinhardt prey, knocks him into the air. This is a combo, Bren.
And he's comboed up in the charge as well into the back lines. This kill's going all over the place. Meza comes out on top though. Tonic will fall in the end, and it's going to be the nano boost used onto the Reinhardt. What year is this, CP? Moving in, kills the Graviton now. Going to be committed. The right click's coming in. Vinci is charged up, and he's on an absolute mad one indeed as he's finding the picks for his team.
Finzi once more being his own fall through. A beautiful grab, followed up by charged up Zarya shots, leading the way. 1, 2, 3. One team fight away from setting what might be an unbeatable Kings Row time. They are flying through the map right now.
Cool has the meteor strike. He's just waiting for the opportune time to strike. Rocket punch brings down Meza. That's one pick. Can this man be stopped? They're all so weak. The kills are flowing in, the sound barrier to boot. And 1, 2, 3 are showing no signs of slowing down, and they will get a very formidable time here. Very quick capture for Kings Row.
And what we saw there's multiple elements that distinguish both teams, but what really struck out to me there was just what 1, 2, 3 got from their ultimates versus what Bazooka Puppiez got. Where every grab that came in from 1, 2, 3 was on point, led to a team wipe, and let them keep the momentum going forward. Conversely, for Bazooka Puppiez, the one grab they had that could have given them a bit of stability, they're not able to convert on it. Even though they had plenty of ultimates up, and yes, 1, 2, 3 answered in turn, but now it's a little bit problematic for Bazooka Puppiez because you need to win those fights at least somewhat more evenly.
It's worth mentioning as well, Kenzie, in the final moments of that defense, he switched to the Widowmaker as soon as they captured that first checkpoint. Now, Widowmaker can be a very good pick on that final section of Kings Row. There's very long sight lines that you can abuse, and they were relying on his one-pick potential to turn things around, because at that point, they were at such a massive ultimate disadvantage. That was the only thing they could rely on, but unfortunately didn't work out for them, and now the sides are switched.
Widowmaker on defense is always high risk, high reward. The reward for Widowmaker on offense is usually a bit better because once you get the early pick off, you can commit pretty heavily. On defense, if you don't get it in the Widow, for whatever reason, dies rather easily, suddenly you're the ones at a disadvantage. So it can be high risk, high reward. But for the Bazooka Puppies now, Bren, what's at stake for them is that they have to get through Kings Row very quickly if they want to even remotely match this time.
And given what we've seen in that last round, the previous round, the ultimate usage coming out by 1, 2, 3 is just much more superior. Again, the analyst desk mentioning this, that it was very surprising to see, because for a team that was sort of built together so quickly after Mistakes left, Mistakes being the team captain and also a driving force for the team, it's actually phenomenal how far they've come in such a short period of time, taking it to these teams that, honestly, we thought, you know, we weren't too sure about 1, 2, 3, but they've definitely shown up in this week.
Do you think Kenzie is going to stand the McCree when he realizes 1, 2, 3 isn't running a Doomfist?
Could be. I mean, McCree has been coming back in. The changes they've been making him a lot more viable when it comes to his Deadeye, and also his Flashbang now slows by a certain degree when you connect it onto somebody. But with this, it's going to be the slow rotation around, and Ube on the Hanzo. It's that classic Hanzo pick on Kings Row.
And right now, he's just looking for anything. One good headshot could turn the fray of battle. Ube right now, nothing is on him. Nothing is really stopping him, and the simple geometry hits. Able to be in and grabs Finzi as well. Ube, a vital double kill. This is going to create a lot of space for the Bazooka Puppiez.
This is why Hanzo is so good there. You might have saw it just a second there, but you can get into so many high ground angles time and time again. And especially for this first checkpoint, all the hallways, all the corridors, you can send scatter arrows around the corner, you can send the sonic arrows and collect those little exit kills as they try and escape out of the fight. And that is rapid. Bazooka Puppiez taking it on their first attempt. That can't be understated, ZP, because if they manage to maintain this momentum now, it's going to be crucial for them to finishing this map in a good time.
No doubt about it. Now we see Kenzie right now creeping on the side. He's on the flank. Dania is already down, so a big opportunity for the Puppies. Bach is down. Both supports are out of the fight as Kenzie picks them off from the alleyway. A beautiful strike now from the Puppies.
This is exactly what they needed, and now they've got the ult advantage to boot. 5 minutes and counting, pushing forward. No signs of slowing down. 1, 2, 3. They need to get their act in order. They need to get this defense going. The disadvantage here with the composition that 1, 2, 3 are running, they're running the Ana alongside the Lucio. Now this is a bit different because they're not going to have 2 defensive support ultimates to use. They've only got the sound barrier from the Lucio, whereas Bazooka Puppiez can rotate between their Transcendence and the sound barrier.
Bazooka Puppiez has what could be game-winning momentum right now. This is a fight they need to take. They need to pile on even harder and get this in quickly. There's the Deadeye early on for Kenzie. Going to be zoning out, looking for those skulls, and gets half a cool to boot. A double kill now from the Puppies. And this momentum, Bren, does not appear to be ceasing.
And it's a different scenario because in the previous round, we saw 1, 2, 3 lose a team fight in a similar position. Now Bazooka Puppiez, again, no signs of slowing down. This will be the third checkpoint that they've got. And I think this is actually going to be a faster time than what 1, 2, 3 got. Not to mention the ultimates they've got alongside it. The question is now, will they be able to hold on as 1, 2, 3? Now they have the Graviton, now they have the Earth Shatter and everything else. But if Kenzie's getting picks like that, I don't think it matters.
Bren, do you know what my favorite game is?
What is your favorite game, ZP?
Hungry, hungry dragons, because now Mete, holding on to the grab, could set up Ube right now in a beautiful way, because now they're moving forward. He can be the master of his own destiny. There's no support ultimate up for it yet. Instead, 1, 2, 3, they strike first with the grab of their own. It's a big bang combo, but answered by the Transcendence, which doesn't keep Meza alive, but will keep the Meteor people alive in that situation. Now Mete's moving in. Is the dragon on the way? There it is.
Indeed it is, and it's cleanup duty now for the Bazooka Puppies. Can they secure this fight, though? That's the question. Ube's still on the Hanzo, does collect the kill onto Snilo. Is he going to follow it up? No, Fincy strikes back. A whole slew of ultimates being used by 1, 2, 3 to try and stabilize there. A crucial fight. They needed to win that.
Well, Hungry Hungry Dragons might be a little bit overrated because it did not give Bazooka Puppies the fight they needed there. Now they have to reset. And you take a look at the time, they still can set a quicker time, but 1, 2, 3, if they get even one more good defense here, they will have the edge here in this map. Regardless, Meza moving in, has an Earth Shatter, Bren. This could be big.
Yeah, absolutely. One fight is really, realistically, what Bazooka Puppies need to win to try and secure this one. As 3, they've got no ult to try and defend this with. The bubble will get dropped pretty early on. That's important because now Meza, there's nothing to stop him. Coming in, Happy Cool, gets flash banged up, very weak. Reflex comes out, he's so weak. Has to back off, but it will be them winning the initial team fight, even with Kenzie getting the exit frags.
Meza was very hesitant to pull the trigger there, where 1, 2, 3 just dove in. Meza couldn't find a good opportunity to drop the Earth Shatter, and that means that 1, 2, 3 was able to take that fight with no ultimates invested. That is crucial in this game between both of these teams because now 1, 2, 3 gets a moment to regroup. They're going to have ultimates for the next fight. Now, Baby Snillo can land a Pulse Bomb and delay things out even more.
And it can't be underestimated here. Meza, when he's on this Reinhardt roll, he's looking for the big Earth Shatters, I should say. He's looking for those big plays. And when you're playing against Dive, it's so much more difficult to try and find those kills. Regardless, Ube tries to initiate in. Now we're seeing a switch to Doomfist. He is getting the damage done. Snilo just causing havoc into the back lines, but ZP, this is looking pretty good for Bazooka Puppies as it stands.
Kenzie right now praising the sun. It is high noon. Not going to get what he's looking for here just yet. But Bazooka Puppies, slow and steady, wins the race. They're able to take down Snillo early on, and now they have the Transcendence to answer Hapicool, who gets nothing. The Dragon Blade denied, and the Bazooka Puppies applying all sorts of pressure.
This could still be defendable for them, but it's going to be very tricky. Meteor strike sent down. The point is still contested, but not for long. Only 2 meters left. It's rolling in, and it will be a capture, a completion for Bazooka Puppies. An impressive feat nonetheless. They get 3 minutes on the clock to work with. A very similar time to 1, 2, 3, but something I didn't think was going to be doable for them, given the way that 1, 2, 3 played that previous round. Maybe they just suck at defending.
This is a case where both teams did not put up good defenses, but generally speaking, what you tend to see in Overwatch is that if one team puts on a very quick time, what will happen is that they'll have a pretty good defense as well because it's sort of shows that there's a mechanical difference between both teams, certainly a difference in how they're handling ultimates. It's a little bit rare to see both teams have a really quick time, but this is one of those cases.
Absolutely. Bazooka Puppies in that previous round, they sort of prolonged their momentum from that initial capture. As soon as they got that first capture point, their first attempt at least with Ube on the Hanzo, it was almost a guaranteed sort of win through the streets phase because they had the ultimate advantage to work off, they had the pick advantage, and Kenzie switching to the McCree was huge for them. But now, what's this CP? Ube most likely going to be rolling out with a Widowmaker. It's not something that's uncommon. In fact, very common indeed for King's Row this first section. Again, similar to the Hanzo, you can abuse those sight lines.
You absolutely can, and you see Widows used a decent amount on first points in general if there's good sightlines. Not every team will go for it, but the opportunity is there. However, I think Ube right now is just using the zoom to get a better view of the situation because he is swapping back to the Hanzo. And frankly, with what his Hanzo did last time, 1, 2, 3 hasn't really given him a reason to swap.
Now, I'd agree with that 100%, but it needs to be said, 1, 2, 3 is now switching to the dive. It's almost like they've read it. Hanzo is slightly less effective because of the spreads out. You can't actually get effective picks with your scatter arrow. Kenzie on the McCree as well. They're looking for that one pick potential, but look at his positioning by 1, 2, 3. They're not giving them anything. In fact, spread all around the map, just like guerrilla warfare here, hiding in nooks and crannies.
And Snillo took a risky one-on-one, was able to take down Ube, but Kenzie doesn't complete off the flashbang. Lets Snillo off the hook. That can haunt you as a team, especially with how deadly Snillo has been here so far.
And even though King's Row is almost the home of Reinhardt-centered compositions, it really does struggle against the dive composition that 1-2-3 are running. This triple DPS relies on the momentum, high damage to break these barriers, break the shields down. And if they're not finding the picks on the side of Bazooka Puppiez, they're going to be really struggling to find the entry into this point.
But you see how much space Bazooka Puppiez are getting here just because of Ube. No one wants to be the guy that gets hit by the Hanzo arrow to lose the team fight. However, Kenzie is focused down here early on. Ube now not finding things early, but does find Bach. Now, this is great. The double kill has opened the way for the Puppies. Very difficult for 1-2-3, but the return Dragon Blade is underway.
Havicle's going for this one. He's an absolute mentalist. What is he doing here? Soundbar gets committed, so actually, not a bad trade. And you can see Ube swinging the mouse around. He's a bit upset with that because Havicle pulling out the Dragon Blade, I don't think they needed to commit the sound barrier there to try and defend that.
No, he spooked Psycho Waffle there for sure, and that's a case where, in the moment, Psycho Waffle had to make a decision.
Yeah.
Is Happy Cool going to kill all of us? And he reasonably thought that that could be a case, so he dropped the sound barrier to make sure that didn't come true. But that's a good trade for a team if you can trade Dragon Blade for a sound barrier.
Absolutely. Still, Snilo just, or Snillo I should say, trying to basically deny them into the high ground here, zipping around. As you can see, the Transcendence will get forced out, but a Bio Grenade will actually prevent all healing done to Tonic there. Means they have an opportunity to bring him down. Now the Deadeye by Kenzie tries to follow up with the kill. Happy with the deflect, but that mid-air headshot will bring him down.
And the interesting thing here for 1-2-3 is that even though they struck more deeply at the Puppies early on, because the Bazooka Puppies are after a spawn, and 1-2-3 spawn is so far away, they're still going to get a lot of momentum here, especially after taking down Denia. Now, we might be going back to the meta of Hungry Dragons here, Bren.
Yeah, absolutely. The Graviton Dragon Strike combo, that's the one to watch. Meta needs to get a good sort of entry here with the Graviton Surge. Much easier playing Zarya into dive compositions compared to the past. The recent changes, her Graviton Surge is much harder to escape from now, which can be pretty good against this sort of composition, which is the reason we're seeing this traditional tank CP, but here it comes. This is the opportunity they're waiting for. The shields are out, and here we go.
Early engaged from 1-2-3. Answered by Meta, and the nano boost on him and the grab. Only gets Denia, though. It's not a super high value grab. Snillo wreaks havoc into the back line. A disaster for the Bazooka Puppies. They could have gone even further. They could have made this a long overtime push, and instead, they get stopped right here in second.
That's the danger of running that Zarya Hanzo combo. You know, if it's essentially an all-in play. If you don't pick up a good majority of the enemy team, you're really going to suffer. And dive composition is almost built around avoiding those gravitons, being very spread out, being very sort of patient with your positioning.
I will note, things are not entirely bleak right now.
No,
for 1-2-3.
absolutely not.
3.5 minutes, given the time that they set to begin with, they can very easily get to that point in second. So what this is going to cause from Bazooka Puppiez is that Bazooka Puppiez has to come out with a much more convincing defense on first. I think any defense they have on first that doesn't drain at least about a minute to a minute and a half is going to be a bit of a failure here. So they can't lose this first fight.
If this initial defense is going to be anything like their previous one, this is going to be 1-2-3 basically slamming it home into the streets phase, because they, like you mentioned, ZP, they need to get a solid defense here. Composition-wise, going to be sticking with the Doomfist comp. Again, running Kenzie on the McCree. Very successful, the Analyst desk before. I think Sideshow was talking about the statistics relating to this, and it's actually when McCree has ran against the Doomfist, there's a very high percentage chance of, a very high win rate, I should say, for the team that is running the McCree in answer to it.
The key for Kenzie is that he needs to stay out of pressure. The reason why Haficool was able to just do whatever he wanted on the last attack is that Kenzie got zoned out early on. When he's zoned out, he's not applying the damage to Haficool, he's not applying any sort of CC, and that let him run wild. So Kenzie's _1 priority has to be safe, shirk pressure, target Haficool.
And that's the composition they're sort of running. When they're running the Reinhardt, when they're running the Zarya, that's the sort of close-knit composition they're trying to run. But as we see now, the attacking side, 1-2-3 are taking the high ground positioning. They got Haficool, Snillo as well, wants to try and rotate around, jumps on Ube, but it's just going to be the bait and switch. The seismic slam from Haficool doesn't quite connect.
He thought he was getting into a boxing match with an old man, but instead it was another Doomfist. Haficool dropping right in, uppercutting his way around. Not doing too much here just yet, but Rubicon fell early on. There's going to be less healing now for Bazooka Puppiez, and 1-2-3 can slowly now pick this apart.
Even with Haficool falling there, it should still be the 1-5 for them. You see Psycho Waffle is going to be ending up falling there towards the tail end of it. This will be the cap for them eventually. Can try and defend it with Ube just jumping in at the last second, but again, this is 100% going to be going the way here for 1-2-3. The question is, how much momentum can they build off the back of it? Important to note, ZP, quickly interject there. Fincy, look at his Graviton surge percentage, 92%.
He is ready to go, and that could be disastrous for the Bazooka Puppies. But just to rewind a month, the reason why that went so well for 1-2-3 is that Half-a-Cool took the high road. He took a road where there's no way Kenzie would have line of sight on him, so he was able to choose a good opener. But now we take a look at Finzy. Has the Graviton at the ready, and lobs it right in.
Lovely stuff. The Nanovu's going to be used out onto Mendez to try and keep him up. Earthshatter committed as well into the mix of it. Soundbar on top. Bazooka Puppies trying to survive this one. Fincy is charged up and ready to go, however. Claims the 1-for-1 kill, but he's trapped in the corridor, and it will be the charge for Meza who brings him down.
2 minutes left for 1-2-3, but those 2 minutes might be 2 centuries to the Bazooka Puppies, who now might be down to their final fight to defend this, and they're looking at about 2 to 3 defenses here. What does this do, Bren? This puts all sorts of pressure on the Meza to land the Earthshatter of his dreams.
He needs to land his Earthshatter. It's going to be so important for him right now. 1, 2, 3. They've got the Reinhardt shield to defend from this, but they've got no ultimates to use. And here we go. The charge in comes in from Tonic. He wants to kill, but no! They didn't get on the point! Oh my goodness. That is the trouble. You know, it's easy to say they shouldn't have done that at all, but the trouble with King's Row is when you fall in that streets phase, your spawn is miles away. It can be difficult to get to it in the end, but there's no excuse realistically for that.
No, that's a case where these puppies need more training, because that is not a mistake you can make. Period. You have to get on the point in that situation, and they definitely could have, but they were prioritizing their positioning so much that they weren't able to get there in time.
No, I think it might have been Tonic went for the charge. I was wondering, why is Tonic charging in the final moments, right? Why was Tonic charging in there when he needs to hold up the Reinhardt shield to defend from the Earthshatter? I think he actually pinned someone and knocked them back from the cart in the final moments. Bazooka Puppies thought they had someone on the cart, but it just wasn't available to them.
You can't play with fire like that, though. You have to give yourself a little bit more time and at least a second person so that can't happen.
Absolutely, yeah. But that was an incredible game so far. A bit more competitive with that last map, I think, than we were sort of assuming, but you definitely see signs of life there for the Bazooka Puppies.
There's definitely potential in the Bazooka Puppies team, and to tell us about some of the good things that they had, let's throw it to the desk.